Democrat Congresswoman arrested facing 357 years in prison for this heinous crime. Another Democrat bites the dust. She's facing over 300 years in federal prison for this fraud. A federal judge recently denied motions calling for either the acquittal of, or the granting of a new trial for, former District 5 Congresswoman Corinne Brown, in effect setting the stage for her to be sentenced on November 16 for 18 counts of fraud. Federal Judge Timothy Corrigan ruled on Wednesday, August 16, that Brown was neither entitled to a new trial nor acquittal on her jury conviction, notwithstanding the arguments of her defense attorney, James Smith. Smith argued before Corrigan that his client had not received a fair trial earlier in the year because one of the jurors had been dismissed after confiding to another juror that the Holy Spirit had revealed to him Brown's innocence. Smith further argued that the prosecution had failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Brown had orchestrated a charity scheme to defraud donors. The judge disagreed with both arguments. The dismissal of the juror was not an action that he undertook lightly, the judge said. Quite the opposite, Corrigan wrote in his 27-page decision, underscoring that he had dismissed the particular juror only after finding beyond a reasonable doubt that there was no substantial possibility he could base his decision on the court's instructions and the evidence adduced at trial. Original story. Every time we hear of corruption and fraud, it seems to be coming from the Democrats' side. Democratic Representative Corinne Brown is the next one to bite the dust, and she has just learned that she's facing more than 300 years in prison. The 69-year-old Congresswoman pleaded not guilty to the charges that could have her locked up for the rest of her life. The charges are linked to the One Door Education Foundation, a Virginia-based group founded in 2011 that purported to solicit donations to help with things like scholarships. Prosecutors say the group was a scam in that most of the $800,000 in donations went to benefit either Brown, Simmons, or the group's president Carla Wiley, who has already pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud and has been cooperating with the feds. Part of the conspiracy, according to the 53-page indictment, involved Brown using her position and influence as a member of Congress to get donors to give money to the group. Brown, Simmons, and Wiley used Brown's official positions as a member of Congress to solicit contributions to One Door for Education and to induce individuals and entities to make donations, based on false and fraudulent representation that the funds would be used for charitable purposes, read the indictment. Prosecute corrupt politicians no matter what party they are affiliated with. Truth be told, at least half the Democratic Party should be serving time for corruption, tax evasion, collusion, and lying under oath, just to name a few. They should be arresting Obama, Hillary, Rice, Pelosi, Franks, Sharpton, Reid, Warren, Schumer, Waters, Lee, Cummings, and let's not forget Paul Ryan. And that's just the beginning of the list. This woman is a small fry.